Hello and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stefan, and please like, share, and subscribe. Here are the games coming up November 16th, 2021. The first game on our list is Surviving the Aftermath. This came out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions, mild violence. This is a real-time strategy game in which players lead a settlement of survivors in a post-apocalyptic world. From a 3/4 overhead perspective, players gather resources, build structures, and tend to inhabitants' health and well-being. During the course of the game, some settlers may die due to various environmental factors and ailments. Settlers may also perish due to player choices. In some instances, settlers may commit suicide if their needs are not met. Text descriptions and scenarios add to the dark tone of the game. Slavers with chained hostages is told for trading purposes. They can leave the colony, cause harm to themselves, and end their own lives by their own hand. A burial pit, frequent references to death and depictions of corpses. And the next game on our list is The Wild at Heart. This came out on PlayStation 4, the ratings are everyone 10 and up. The content descriptions, comic mischief, fantasy violence, and language. This is an adventure game in which players assume the role of a young runaway exploring the forest, caves, and ancient ruins. From a 3/4 overhead perspective, players use a vacuum and forest sprites to solve puzzles, interact with the environment, and battle fantasy creatures. Player sprites swarm enemies and punish them until defeated. The battles are accompanied by impact sounds and cries of pain and screen-shaking effects. A handful of sequences refer to bathroom humor, a creature vomiting off the screen with belching sounds, a mushroom identified as poop fruit, a character referred to as fart face, and the word ass appears in the game. Now let's take a look at Epic Chef. This is going to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up. The content descriptions, alcoholic references, comic mischief, cartoon violence, mild language, mild suggestive themes. This is an adventure game in which players assume the role of a young chef exploring the land, harvesting crops, and cooking dishes to battle in culinary duels. Some interactions lead to instances of cartoony violence, background characters fighting accompanied by fight clouds, a goblin swinging a character as a weapon, a character hit in the face with food. The game contains some suggestive innuendos in the dialogue. In one sequence, a character is heard vomiting after drinking an unknown liquid. Some sequences depict frothy beer mugs and references to alcohol. The word hell and damned appear in the game. Now let's dive into Battlefield 2042. This is coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions, violence, blood, and strong language. This is a first-person shooter in which players engage in stealth missions, skirmishes, and firefights with enemy soldiers. Players use pistols, machine guns, sniper rifles, and explosions to kill enemies in realistic, frantic combat. Stealth attacks sometimes include stabbing enemies in the chest at close range. Combat is highlighted by realistic gunfire, screams of pain, large explosions, and blood splatter effects. Swear words appear in the dialogue. The next game on our list is NERF Legends. This came out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions, fantasy violence. This is a first-person shooter in which players participate in a gauntlet-style courses across a holographic environments. Players use weapons that fire dart-like laser projectiles at targets, players, and robotic enemies. Gameplay is frantic and with frequent laser fire and explosions. Human players are tagged out when they are struck too many laser darts, resulting in disintegration effect, and they are beamed out of the area. And now it's time to look at Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This is coming on Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone. The content descriptions, mild cartoon violence. This is 2 games, but you can buy it in a double pack. This is a role-playing game in which players assume the role of a Pokémon trainer to become a champion. Players explore a fictional region and engage in turn-based combat with other trainers and Pokémon. Selecting attacks from a menu to defeat them, the combat is accompanied by impact sounds, smacking and zapping sounds, and colorful light bursts. Next up is Farming Simulator 22. This is coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and Google Stadia. The rating is everyone. This is a farming simulation game in which players run a modern farm. Players use agricultural machines to cultivate fields while harvesting and selling crops. The last game on today's list is Halo Infinite. This is the multiplayer beta and it's free to play right now. Players use pistols, machine guns, grenade launchers, and futuristic weapons to kill aliens and human enemies in frantic combat. Battles are highlighted by realistic gunfire, explosions, occasional blood spatter effects. Characters can also use assassinations to kill characters by snapping their necks or by stabbing them with a bladed weapon. Thank you to bensound.com for the music track. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube at Parents Guide to Games, on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games, on Twitter at ParentsG2G, and email any questions or concerns at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And always, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.